I love you.
Welcome back to the Couch Potatoes. I am a sleepy green traveler from Gorsh.
And I...
Big old couch, sit on down, plenty of room.
Yep. And I am the green traveler. No, I'm not. God dang it.
Are you?
You threw me.
We swap bodies?
No, you...
Is this a Freaky Friday situation?
I'm just also tired, and you threw me. That's it. I am the Faceless Leon. Welcome to a podcast about movies and TV. This is Green Faceless on the Couch. It's supposed to be my birthday.
Yes. Yeah, we're a couple months behind.
I know that I'm 2 months behind, but it's supposed to be happy birthday to me, and we talk about X-Men. So we're doing TV.
Yeah.
We're doing streaming.
A couple months
TV.
ago, beautiful show came out called X-Men 97.
Mm-hmm.
The continuation of the 90s X-Men animated show from our youth, more from your youth. I watched a lot of it. I was not...
I had a VHS.
I think my brother was more attached to it than I was.
With like the whole, like half of the first season on it.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching it a lot, but I remember my brother being like more invested in it. I still liked it, but like I don't know, there was something about some of the like I remember one episode that sticks out to me. Okay, and this will tell you where I'm at with the X-Men in my childhood. I need to make that clear. Childhood Greg and adult Greg, two very, very different characters. Adult Greg now is reading Chris Claremont. We're both reading Chris Claremont's X-Men run.
Both you and young Greg
2 or 3 years to gather all the volumes together.
Are reading
no
the Claremont run?
No, you and me.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, you are reading the Chris Claremont run.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, young Greg could not care less about the X-Men because one thing that stood out to young Greg was there's one episode in the original series where it's following, I think you would call them the New Mutants, like the young X-Men class. Like they're not the X-Men, but it's the young kids with the stupid powers.
Right.
Like there's one episode where they're like following it's like a booger boy, like he's like just like a slime, like he just throws out slime balls or whatever. I can't remember. It was like they all just have dumb powers, and the moral, like the lesson of the episode. When it ends, it might not even be the X-Men animated. It might be just another.
I'm trying to think of this X-Men episode.
It's definitely X-Men though, but I just can't remember where it comes from. But it's
the moral.
The moral of the story, basically, though, is that they end up finding unique ways to use their powers to defeat the enemy. You know, because it's like the X-Men got incapacitated or something, so these young kids had to step up and save them. But they have stupid powers, you know. They all know that their powers are dumb, and that's what sticks out with me is like the mutant abilities. You know, it's like you have flame, you have ice, you have wind, all that stuff, and then after that, once you get through all like the popular X-Men, then you're just kind of left with like, oh, that mutant has big ears and good hearing ability. You know, they just kind of run out of ideas after a while. So it's just like you either have like 1,000 flame throwers or flame on boys.
If I'm not mistaken, they in this series that we're about to talk about, X-Men 97, I believe there is a man with a dog face, if I'm not mistaken. I think the character's name is Tusk, but we'll see. No picture.
Tusk.
No picture.
What was Kevin Smith's Tusk?
Yeah, I think that's the page it took me to, actually.
Yeah, he's Justin Long and Kevin Smith's Tusk. We should do that. That'd be so funny someday. Oh my goodness. His
name wasn't Tusk.
Speaking of, before we get into the show itself, X-Men 97, speaking of me wanting to do like Tusk, as this fun little episode idea, if you have a fun little episode idea, head on down to patreon.com/greenandfaceless and sign up for one of our Patreon tiers. They each have their own little benefits. Some come with some, merchandise if you've been a member for a while. I don't know if we still have shirts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty sure we do.
Yeah.
And we can get them updated too with our new logo and everything. There's so much things we can do. But go down there, check out our Patreon page, or if you don't have money to spare, just like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube or all that kind of stuff.
We got a Facebook.
Speaking of
page.
YouTube, we got Facebook, we got email addresses, Social Security numbers. The government had to register us somehow.
My personal address.
Yeah.
Okay.
Parents. Siblings. No, but speaking of YouTube, though, there is also a poll out there. Every month we do a potato pick, where our patrons suggest episodes, where they pitch ideas, and then we put those polls up on Patreon and on YouTube. If you go to our community page, you will find a poll currently, as of the recording of this episode, that is. So sorry if you're coming to this months later. But there is a poll currently for... There might be, even then. Yeah, even then.
But probably
so I won't even say what the poll's for.
Yeah.
But go down there and vote. Yeah. Check it out. We got stuff to offer. Check me out.
So, yeah. We're excited. We're talking about X-Men. I love X-Men. I loved this series. It's what got me into it. I had an X-Men encyclopedia. It was the third such edition of said encyclopedia. And then a few years later, I also had a Marvel encyclopedia, but it was really about X-Men. And I think it was because I was really interested in the X-Men story because they were heroes, but they were persecuted against. And yes, that happens in other comics, like Superman, Spider-Man, and Batman all have, somebody in a legitimate standing that is coming after them, right? But this is a whole group of people because of who they are. Like, it's a big mirror to racism, basically. But, they talk a lot about, like, genocide in these comics and things like that. And not that I am interested in genocide, but I am interested in commentary. On such...
Yes, genocide, yes.
No! Good. Yeah, so that it always interested me for that, and anybody who has ever felt like an outsider in their life can find something in X-Men to enjoy.
Which, honestly, that's kind of why I've only recently come to fall in love with this X-Men story more, because once I was 24, 25, it started to dawn on me that hey, these feelings that I've had, that I've been burying for, ever since childhood, basically, maybe I'm actually trans. Maybe I'm a trans woman, maybe, and then I started to explore this more, and then the more I started to explore it physically out in the public, was the more I started to correlate with the X-Men more, was because, I started to experience more prejudice, hatred, that kind of stuff. Persecution. Literally, where I work, I've had people walk into my place of business, and I'll say, "Hi, I can help you over here," and they'll look at me and say, "No, somebody else, please." I've had that happen. That is a constant in my days now, just because of how I look, just because of how I dress. And so, coming to a comic book like the X-Men, I know this isn't new commentary for anybody who's listened to X-Men stories before. But, coming to the X-Men who are constantly attacked just because they were born a different way, they have powers, they can't really do anything about them. They're there. Of course, there are storylines where individuals invent cures, if you will, for their mutant abilities. But even then, that offers its own issues, its own
ethical
problems,
quandaries.
Conundrums.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We put a pause on the Marvel playlist that we started probably years ago at this point, but we haven't watched X-Men 3: The Last Stand yet. I will tell you, at the time, I was pretty pissed off about that movie, but I can't tell you how I would feel on a rewatch, because it's the one I've watched the least, because it's the one I liked the least out of those three original.
It was the one that confused me the most, and it was also the one where I started to hear about Bryan Singer's questionable life.
Oh, yeah?
Where it's just like, you hear about the director, and you're just like, ooh. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Well, yeah, I don't know who directed this, but we have the
TV show.
Yeah, it's a TV show. I don't know who the showrunner was. Thank you.
Bo DeMaio.
Bo DeMaio.
Bo DeMaio.
Cool.
He was the head writer, at least. Oh, have they made multiple seasons already of this? This is crazy.
Of what?
Of X-Men 97. Yeah, they've already have a second season in production and a third in development.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, because I got confused because it says, yeah, I mean, definitely. I hope it did.
Yeah.
But no, what confused me was it says that Bo DeMaio is the head writer for the first 2 seasons, followed by Matthew Chauncey for the 3rd season. I was just like, what? So yeah, that's pretty crazy. They've already got it all lined up for 3 years, basically.
Nice.
I'm trying to find who the head writer was of the original animation back in the 90s. You can ignore me. I'm not gonna be able to find this.
Okay. I just all of a sudden got sucked in on checking who made it from cast to cast. It looks like it looks like
most of them were the
Jean
same. Right?
and Aurora were different.
Aurora was different? Oh my
yeah.
god. Well, the actor who did Aurora, I thought that was the same.
Amazing.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Alison Seeley Smith. Alison Seeley Smith.
Iona Morris played her in Well,
wow.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. She played her until 93, and Alison Seeley Smith played her until 97. My apologies.
Okay. She is still incredible. No change to her magnificent talent as the voice actor for Storm. But
yeah, they did an amazing job in this season with her storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Storm, if you don't know, also the names, most of the names are pretty obvious of like what their powers are. But Storm controls the weather. She's amazing, and sometimes leader of the X-Men.
And if I may, having so far of the Chris Claremont run, there's 11 volumes. I'm 8 volumes in. Sorry, my dog's barking at people who continuously decide that it's a good idea to walk right by doors. They're basically in my back lawn. I love this. It's great. Go Suburban America. I don't live in suburbia. What am I talking about? Where I'm at in the Chris Claremont run, Storm has been the leader for quite a while, like quite a few volumes now. Leagues above Cyclops.
Oh, yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. I understand people love Cyclops. I understand he was a good leader of the X-Men. I don't like him that much.
He's a dick.
Kind of like milk toast white American.
Right.
Like,
and you know, I like where I'm at in the books, where he's actually contemplating the person that he is.
Yeah.
But I don't know how long that lasts. So Ray Chase replaced Norm Spencer for the new series. Jennifer Hale also replaced Jean Grey, who plays Scott Summers. Who is Scott Summers' wife. And she has telekinetic powers, and he can shoot beams out of his eyes. Cyclops and Jean Grey, that their names are obvious of what they can do.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Jean Grey is so obvious.
Oh, man.
Cyclops, one-eyed Dan. God, if only, honestly.
Uh,
That is, honestly, though, that is kind of a beauty of Cyclops' character. As you mentioned, he shoots shit out of his eyes, and you can't control that.
No,
is,
you can't.
If he doesn't have these visors on, those things are just blaring always.
He has trauma 5 ways from Sunday. That's for sure.
There's a reason he's a dick. I completely accept that, but I hate him. I hate him so much.
Yeah.
Him and Gambit. Let's talk about Gambit next, so I can get this out of my blood.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Remy LeBeau.
Remy LeBeau.
He can throw things and make them explode later. Really, what they explain is that he can convert potential energy into kinetic energy, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
To make things explode. But anyhow, he is played by AJ Locascio. I'm sorry.
Locascio.
AJ Locascio.
AJ Locascio.
This one, I think maybe the other one as well. Nope, Chris.
No, I see it here.
Potter.
Yeah. And so let me get my Gambit bitching out, okay? Because I know people are going to be upset about this, so I'll just keep it to this one little segment here where I complain about this man. I hate Gambit. Okay, I'm sorry, I do. I don't like men who are just dicks to be dicks. Like even Wolverine, I have an issue with, but he has so much more heart. Wolverine, the more you get into his character... I told you this when I was reading it, because you had read a lot of X-Men before me. But when I was reading Volume 1, I was like, dude, Wolverine is a fucking dick, and I can't stand him. And you were like, well, give him time. Once you get into his character more, you'll start to like him a lot. Volume 8, I'm in Volume 8 now, and I'm just top 5. Wolverine is... so beautifully written. He has so much emotion buried
storylines.
Yeah, agreed. But Gambit is just an emotional prick to everybody. There's so many times, and this is I should mention where my hatred's coming from. I'm a stan for Rogue. Rogue is my favorite X-Men. All the time. Honestly, favorite mutant, unless you're considering Spider-Man a mutant, which I don't, and nobody should. But some people
He's
do.
Mutated.
For some reason. He's mutated. He's not a mutant, though. But Rogue is my favorite.
He wasn't born with the X gene.
Yeah, exactly. Here she's voiced by Lenore Zan.
And that's the same as
the
past. But I thought her voice was honestly better in this.
Oh, so much better.
Yeah,
better.
There was a stark difference because I watched the series. I went back and watched the entire old series, and then this. So there was kind of a stark difference between some of the returning cast, but it was 30 years. So
yeah, 20-year age gap. Yeah, definitely. And I love Rogue. She absorbs the memories, the powers of those she touches. So, physical skin-to-skin contact. She can accidentally take your powers and your memory and even your basic personality. She fucked over Miss Marvel. If I recall correctly, it was Miss Marvel.
Yeah, she did.
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. But at least in the series, she was told to do it by Mystique, not knowing how powerful of a person that what was it? Connor, what's her name? It's Danvers, right?
Cara Danvers.
Is it? Because then what's Supergirl's name?
Cara Danvers. I don't remember, man.
Fucking comic book wars. Anyhow,
Wade
Captain
Wilson.
Marvel.
Slade.
Yeah. Wade Wilson.
But yeah, she steals Miss Marvel's powers. She's immediately super badass. But I don't know. Even as a kid, I had a crush on Rogue, and that's where I loved her so much. Was just because I was like, oh, she's beautiful.
Hey, sure.
As an adult, I feel so much more attached to Rogue as an adult. And I hate that she has this huge love interest with Gambit. Gambit, the guy who she comes to emotionally, and sure, there are many times where Gambit is good to her. I will not deny that.
Sure.
But for the most part, they just fight, and she throws her emotions at him, seeking, either to vent or to heal or what have you, and he turns them right back on her because he is an emotionless prick. And fight me in the comments, please. I will accept your hatred of my hatred of Gambit, but I can't stand that man, and I'm done with it. There we go.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. In the series, if you did not read him as a character in the comics and just watch the series, he's flirtatious and he is secretive. But he's never abusive, I wouldn't say. And he's no more than, your average 90s inappropriate either. Yeah. Which I hate. I can't stand that. That time period of inappropriateness is just... Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a lot of that stuff hasn't aged very well. That's true. But there really wasn't that much to say anything other than Gambit liked women,
Yeah.
Because it's a kid's show.
And that's another thing is like a trait that I can't stand in shows. Doctor Who does this too, and I'll talk about that because it makes me laugh. But when men fight over women like this, it just makes everybody so stupid. Like there's not really, in this series, in X-Men 97, there's definitely a fight for his interest for Rogue, and that's in Magneto, which we'll get to, which is very fascinating. But I don't remember in the original if he had any, like, other suitors for Rogue, if he was actually fighting for anybody. But, like, I can't stand when men are just like dicks to other men, just because of their women. It's just like, she's my woman, you stay away from her.
The whole thing in the first season, it takes them the first series, it takes them a while to actually get together. He is constantly flirting with her and actually expressing that he, really would like to be in a relationship with her. And she's like, I can't have a normal relationship. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
I literally can't kiss you.
And then eventually she realizes that he's willing to, look past that because he likes her. And so she does say, at some point, I don't remember if it's the new series or this series, she gets asked what her name is, and she says it's Marie Laveau. And, her name is Marie, but that's not her given name.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's nice. I get it. I know people love the Rogue Gambit relationship.
I think it is just because they're both Southern. I think that's the only reason. Like, they gravitate toward each other.
Yes. I'll jump on that. Hatred. Yes.
I think, it's Mississippi and Louisiana. They're right there, right next to each other, right? I think.
Yeah.
Or is it Alabama in between there? I don't know. But both Southern.
I'd have to look at the map.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Magneto. I think Mississippi
and Louisiana are next to each other. Yeah. Oh, hell
you mentioned Magneto, and he is played by Matthew Watterson in this version. Come out to me. Magneto.
Watterson replaces Magneto's original voice actor, David Hemblin, who died in 2020.
Oh, yeah. That same thing happened to the voice actor that played Scott Summers. And he also played a lot of other characters, the guy that played Scott Summers in the original series. Earlier, I mentioned that the original series was a children's show. I just wanted to put it out there. The new series definitely is not. I know it's on Disney Plus and everything, but there is some strong theming and some sexual scenes, I believe, too, if I'm not mistaken.
It's tater tot friendly, but with adult supervision.
Yes, yeah, I can give it that. PG-13. That's it. Right.
Yeah.
For kids, basically. I mean, kids watch porn now.
What in the hell? Sorry, I think I just heard that. One of my neighbors has a parrot, and I think I just heard it going by, but it scared the crap out of me. But no, Magneto is fascinating in this series. Yes. I absolutely love him. He finds himself incidentally as the leader of the X-Men, because in the original series, spoilers, Charles dies. That's in air quotes, dies. And Charles's last will and testament, which people, it's the 21st century. We need to be honest. They don't mean shit these days. There's so many other laws and other binding contracts that go before a will and testament. I'm sorry, but definitely make a last will and testament. But just know, if you have beneficiaries listed anywhere, they come first. Sorry to say, but Charles's last will and testament makes Magneto the the leader of the X-Men. Well, technically, it gives him the school. Yeah, that's how they get around it. He's inherited the school. What does it call it?
Because Xavier wasn't publicly the head of the X-Men.
Yeah, exactly. They're like a secret group. They're supposed to be a secret group.
But anyhow, he shows up right at the end of the first episode, and it's spooky and great.
It's fucking great, man. Yeah. I love Magneto in this. Mm-hmm. His story is deep. It goes many different directions, and one of those directions includes Rogue's pants. Not literally, but they have this like.
I don't know. Yeah, it seems like they did the thing where he's able to use his magnetism to create a field between them while they kiss.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can make a magnetic condom, baby. Oh my goodness.
I would hope that Rogue's children would be immune to Rogue's power. At least in the first couple years of their life.
That'd be very nice.
I would hope.
Well, I was gonna say, if they're not, I feel like they would just die in the womb.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, she'd absorb them in the womb. That's true. Yeah.
Because the skin... Well, it'd have to be through this... I don't know. It all depends on, it comes from skin touch. But does it come from internal skin touch?
I don't know. Anyhow, there's other characters that maybe we should mention. Morph, who is very important in the first series, played by J.P. Karliak, was not originally an X-Men. He was one of their on and off again villains / allies, depending, who can literally copy the powers of multiple different mutants at the same time. Now, this Morph is just more of a shapeshifter. And, uses it for deception and stuff like that. I'm just seeing if he was in the...
Karliak replaces the original voice actor Ron Rubin.
Yeah, you read faster. So, anyhow, he was important because he got captured. The X-Men thought he was dead. Killed by Sentinels, but he was actually captured by Mr. Sinister. And Mr. Sinister...
Holy fuck.
...used him as a mind-controlled slave. Gave him a split personality as well.
It's no bueno.
So eventually, they do... once they realize that Morph is alive, they rescue him, and Professor X and Moira McTaggart help him get through this split personality business, and he eventually returns to the team, unsuccessfully at first. He says, "I still need more time."
Yeah.
At the end of it, but now
and he has a secret love for Wolverine.
Yes, I don't know that that's a secret, actually.
that there was like I can't remember if it was a full episode or if it was just one small scene in the X-Men 97, but it was so funny when it was just like he morphs into Jean Grey.
Yeah.
And like Wolverine, they kiss. Do they kiss? I can't remember.
Well, he like is like flirting with Wolverine anyways.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh man, he was wanting it so bad. It's like when Wolverine turned it down, I was like, oh, more. Poor War.
But like, Logan, being Wolverine, is played by Cal Dodd, and he also played him in the original. He has
an iconic voice for Wolverine.
Sharp claws and heals real fast and big dog-like senses, I guess.
Yeah. And an adamantium skeleton, which is not part of his mutant ability.
Not part of his mutant ability.
Comes after.
But has happened to him. He's also the oldest member. They don't really talk about that in the series. But he, in the comics, there's a lot of backstory for Logan. Just keeps on going.
He's just a couple 100 years old.
Yeah. So, anyhow, he, in Morph, I think their relationship kind of, mirrors, Logan's and Nightcrawler's, Kurt Wagner's relationship in their comics. Cause they do this hunting game together, and have fun that way. Nightcrawler is in this.
Kurt. Yeah. Adrian
Hugh, I think. I think it's Hugh.
Hough. Well, Hugh would be Hugh, but then you add that O in there.
How? It might be How.
How? Who? How?
Thanks for playing Kurt. You did a good job.
Adrian. Yeah, you did, but Kurt, sadly, I think that he falls back on one of my least things about Kurt is that it seems like writers don't really know what to do with him, and so they just gave him this religious, deep religious beliefs that are typically questioned by the enemies that he faces.
But
he has. I'm not going to deny that, but I feel like the writers just don't know what else to do with him.
Yeah, I think his main thing is more that he is like a super fun guy, but yet the world sees him as this scary demonic creature. Like,
right.
Yeah, I think there's more of that than I feel good because I have Jesus.
Well, yeah, he's not spouting his religion. I just mean when they go deep into his character, when he's not just the fun comedic,
right.
He's there for the comedic effect. He adds some fun. He's hilarious. He jumps around and teleports. But when they actually dive into him, when they focus on his character, they're always focusing on his religion and how his religion is affected by it, which is good. I'm not denying that. Every single mutant character brings their own, connectability with the outside audience reading in. People always come and find the characters that match them. I just feel like there's so much more to Kurt that just never gets explored. Because it's like there's some comics I've read where he's going through, relationship issues. And there's so much it's specific dating issues more, not just friend relationship, but dating problems. And it's just there's so much more to this character that I feel like whenever I see him looked into either live action or in animation, it's always just all right, let's focus on how his religion's affected by the fact that they just fought Galactus.
Yeah.
And I'm just that would definitely fuck with a Christian's mindset, seeing something literally bigger than the planet coming to eat it. That would definitely rock you, not probably shatter your beliefs, hopefully not, but it would definitely make you be like, oh my God, this, I kind of thought that's how big God was, and now this guy is, Jesus,
But not Galactus.
Not Jesus Galactus. God damn, oh Jesus, oh fuck. But no, I kind of wish, I feel like that's what happened. I don't remember. It's been a couple of months now since I've watched X-Men 97. But I do kind of feel like the only times I remember seeing deeper into his character in this show was through his religion. And it's just
They
Much
do.
more there.
They do the whole Mystique is his mom thing.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Mystique is in here. Yeah, she reveals that she's both his and Rogue's mom. I couldn't find her very fast. She's not a big part of this series. She's a bigger part in the other series. She is a shapeshifter as well. It's like the powers that they give Morph are the powers that Mystique has, traditionally, I would say.
That's fair.
So I think we hit all of the members except for Jubilee of the team. No, and Beast. Yeah. We forgot Beast, my favorite. Dr. Hank McCoy
how can we have
is a blue furry, super strong, agile guy who's also a scientist. He's like a geneticist and chemist and everything. What?
I immediately thought, I was just like, I wonder if Hank McCoy Beast is a furry.
He tried to cure himself, and that ended in an accident, and that's what gave him the blue fur. He was trying to be less, like, I guess, big. Like, his original look, like, he just looked like a big guy. Like, he
had just weird feet.
Yeah, and he was the one that was like, I need to fix this because I don't like that I'm different than everybody. I always found that a little bit weird. Yeah. But he gets to turn into a blue person who has been interpreted several different ways by artists, and I love all the interpretations of Beast. I almost always love them.
Oh, nice.
I really like the cat ones.
Kelsey Grammer, your favorite?
Huh? No.
I said, is Kelsey Grammer your favorite?
No, I mean in the comics.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But honestly, Kelsey Grammer did the job right. It's just like they didn't have him do all the acrobatics and shit except for one or two scenes because he's fucking Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah, poor. I don't know. I like what Nicholas. It was Nicholas Hoult.
Nicholas Hoult was the wrong choice. Just the wrong choice. He was the wrong choice.
I like what he brought to the character.
He's an excellent actor.
I don't see him as Beast.
No, he's not. What are you doing? Hey, what are you doing?
We're both having dog issues. But speaking of after Beast, after your favorite, you mentioned Jubilee, played by Holly Chow. She replaces Allison Court. Court was the original voice actor for Jubilee. Mm-hmm. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Jubilee was created for the original show, right?
That is true. I do think she makes it to the comics after the show, though, because of fan appeal.
Cool.
Kind of like a Harley Quinn situation.
Yeah.
Situation.
Oh, yeah, she shoots fireworks out of her hand.
Literal fireworks.
Basically it. It's kind of silly, but I love it.
Yeah, it is fun. It gets her in a lot of trouble, especially in the first series. She's not as big as a character. She's supposed to be the Lynn's in for the 90s kid crowd in that original series, because she's an arcade kid and has fun fashion, wears a plastic raincoat every day.
And she's the new member of the team.
And she's the new member of the team.
She's finding her feet.
Yeah. She takes on the role of Kitty Pryde, really. And she honestly has that energy that Kitty Pryde has in the original comics, I would say.
I like Kitty Pryde better, though, let's be honest.
I mean, well...
No offense.
I think...
Actually,
is that...
The weirdest thing about Kitty Pryde is her relationship with Peter, Cyclops. He's not really in this series too much, is he?
No, I think he's a background. He's a background character. He gets, he's like an immigrant worker that gets in trouble.
It's not Cyclops.
Colossus. Yes. Colossus, Peter Rasputin.
Yes, I forgot that. How can we say that this guy's Russian?
Well, he is like, in the original series, he is a immigrant from Russia, just trying to get work, and he's getting work because he's strong as fuck. And then he gets accused of something, and the X-Men help him out. That's what happens to him in the original series. But he's also like, in that episode, there was something that he did to stop an oppressive thing from happening. I can't remember exactly what happened, but there's a line where he's like, "You're doing to these people what has been going on in my country, what my country has just been freed of recently." So, something like that, But
Peter,
in the comics, like when I watched that, I just read the first time they come across Arcade, and just for a moment, he gets brainwashed into being the proletariat, a Russian superhero.
Oh my god! No, the thing that bothers me the most about Kitty Pryde, though, is her relationship with Colossus. Because in the comics, like at the beginning of the Claremont run, when the relationship was a thing, Kitty Pryde's like 13, maybe, and Peter is like 16 to 18, like.
Yeah, I get it.
It just feels weird. It was weird to read,
I think it feels weird from our lens, but from the 80s, it was not a big deal for, kids to have crushes on people that were older than them. What wasn't okay was the older people accepting any sexual advances or making sexual advances on said kids.
Yeah, they toe that line quite closely in the comic. there were moments where, I mean, both of them were like, "We can't do this. This feels wrong." And it's like, me as the reader, I'm like, yeah, please don't. I'm turning the page now. Please tell me your clothes are still on. Goodness. Oh, but speaking of Jubilee, she also another big issue that I have with the X-Men show, and it's not an actual issue. I'm just pigeonholing here. Females just get the worst fucking romantic relationships, and Jubilee is no different.
Yeah, this one sucks. In this new one
sucks.
Yeah, I
hate it.
It's bad.
Roberto da Costa as Sunspot. Roberto da Costa is Sunspot. He's voiced by Guy Agostini.
Yeah.
That fucking character sucks.
Yeah, I really didn't like him so much. I didn't. Yeah,
he's such a rich douche.
Yeah, he was a rich douche, and his parents were quote unquote cool with him being a mutant as long as it wasn't public. And then once that became abundantly clear that they were not going to support him if it came out, I don't honestly remember what happened because I didn't care.
Yeah, I don't remember either. He struggles a lot, and I'll give him that. He definitely has a good story. It's just, you don't get a lot of sympathy from me when you're a rich brat.
No,
I'm sorry.
No, you don't. You don't.
I can watch Friends all I want. Rachel's still going to be one of my least two favorite characters.
Which is funny because I bet Ross is the other one, huh?
Hey, nail on the head. Douchey male, yes, immediately.
Oh, boy.
I love you.
There's just like so much more to talk about. So I just want to mention, because I brought up Mr. Sinister, that they bring in a storyline that's, pretty big in the comics, where they find out that there is a clone of Jean Grey, who goes by Madeline Pryor, and there's a big thing of which is which kind of deal is what I'll say.
And who
that's a lot of fun.
Who did Scott sleep with?
Right. Who is Scott in love with?
Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun. Again, not to overstate the comics, the Chris Claremont comics. I haven't read a lot of X-Men, I'll be honest. Chris Claremont's basically the only run I've read. And I'm not even finished with it yet. I still have 3 massive hulking volumes to go through, because goddamn, he wrote a lot. of X-Men issues. Holy Christ. And most of them are fascinating. But, shit, what was it? Oh, Madeline Pryor. She's part of the Chris Claremont. And so this took Madeline Pryor in a completely different direction than where I'm at in the comics. And it's fascinating, I will say. I really enjoyed that. You know, I don't like Scott too much, but that doesn't mean I hate Scott. I just can't stand his attitude sometimes. So watching him deal with this situation is pretty entertaining. I'll be honest. Another great story arc is the... yeah, I do kind of like to watch him suffer. It's kind of nice. Another big story arc, though, is Storm losing her powers.
Yeah. And she
in
leaves
the comics,
the X-Men.
Yeah. In the comics, she was without her powers for probably 3 or 4 volumes, which is a lot of reading. Yeah. Let me tell you, with Storm without her powers, I was every single issue like, please let this be the one where she gets her fucking powers back. But I will say, without those powers for 3 solid volumes, Chris Claremont solidified the fact that she is a badass in her own rights. She doesn't need her powers to be a goddess. She is just awesome.
Yeah.
And I credit Chris Claremont a lot. It's very fascinating once she gets her powers back. It's fucking phenomenal. Thankfully, I will say, if you want to read X-Men, or if you want to watch X-Men 97, you don't have to deal with her being powerless for too terribly long. They handle it much faster, and it was pretty refreshing. Let me say.
But it was also good, and they got a very good chemistry with the voice actor that played Forge.
Yes.
I was trying to find it, but they did it bad.
Gil Birmingham.
Yeah, thanks.
Replacing original voice actor Mark Strange.
Mark Strange sounds familiar. Anyhow, that's great stuff.
I bet he's a doctor.
I like that a lot. Magneto being the leader, very good. Because he, I think what is really good about that is that he is really actually trying to pursue what Charles would pursue. Trying really hard. Because, he's I'm not going to say he's an impatient man. He's a man that's been at the end of his patience for a long time.
Yeah.
And
you understand completely what brought him there.
Yeah.
He has origins in the Holocaust.
Yeah, exactly.
He's seen the worst humanity has to offer. You can understand where this villain came from.
Right.
Anti-villain, if you will.
Yeah.
It's really hard to call him an anti-villain. He does have more heart in this series.
Right.
But the dude's
he
done
does
so
some
much
really,
evil.
really bad shit.
It's really hard to take the evil out of this man, let's be honest.
I mean, as the comics go on, he does get more evolved as a character.
In the ultimate world, he floods Manhattan.
Jesus,
he sinks all of New York, basically.
That. Yeah, I don't know much of the Ultimate and past that shit. I don't know anything.
Yeah. Marvel fans everywhere just got mad at me. Of course you've read the Ultimate series. That shit sucks! That's not the 616 universe. God damn it!
Well, I guess I don't know what else to say besides our closing statements.
There was one interesting topic we were talking about beforehand that I wanted to pause before closing statements, which was, in spoilers, if you skip to our closing statements, like the last 5 minutes, if you don't want to hear this spoiler, but it's the big bad of the season, which I really enjoy. I think it's a really interesting big bad. It's Bastion.
Yeah.
Somebody I don't even know.
So Bastion.
Voiced by Theo James.
Theo James. Cool. Anyways, Bastion was a child designed by Master Mold in the future and then sent back in time to be born as
Terminator.
A mutant. I did air quotes and nobody saw that. But he, grows up knowing that he's different, but his power is that he can talk to machines, and he has also been given a directive by Master Mold to, be geared towards eliminating mutants. So that's what he's doing, and it's a very interesting story, and I like the way they played it out.
It's really fascinating, and I do like it. I thought it was interesting because it's like when you're rebooting a series like this, you typically end up making somebody big from the original the big bad. Doctor Who, when they rebooted Doctor Who, Daleks were the big bad of season 1. You look at Star Wars when they came back with the sequel trilogy. Oh, Emperor Palpatine again. Yeah. Lo and behold, it's just like you always go back to what you rely on.
Well,
and in here, they're just like, because Bastion's not in the original series, right?
He is not in the original series. However, the Sentinels are a major part of the series. In season 1, it's almost all about the Sentinels. And they're just throughout. Like, they come across Master Mold, I think, twice in the series. There's 4 seasons. The last season is all over the place. I don't know. They decided that the canon didn't matter anymore, and they whatever. I think no, that's the 6th season. There's 6 seasons. My bad. Whatever. It's the last one. The last one sucks. and then Charles Xavier dies at the end, and they're like, "That's the end of the show." It's like
air quotes.
Yeah, air quotes.
No, it's ridiculous. Like, but I don't know. I understand. Yeah, the Sentinels are definitely big in X-Men 97. Bastion is using them along with like Master Mole, and you got Nimrod in there.
Right.
Nimrod's not technically a Sentinel, I guess. Right? He's something else.
Nimrod,
he's
think,
a Sentinel,
is a
but he's
Sentinel.
like
he's made out of a different material that I don't know. I don't remember exactly.
I remember
what
in the
makes him
comics,
special.
where I'm at in the comics, he can he's like he can hide in population as a human.
Right.
It's like he has like a human form, and then he transforms into this goofy transformer looking block of Sentinel.
It reminds me of that Polygon Pokemon.
Yes, yeah. I think his name is just Polygon, isn't it?
It might be Polymorph. I don't know. I don't know.
But no, I really like the choice of Bastion as the big bad. They imply that Apocalypse will be the big bad of season 2 when we get back to X-Men 97 in a year or two. So that's pretty exciting.
And
he was
they're
a big
working
bad
on it.
of the original. Yeah, that's crazy. They're already like, it apparently did well. And we're months behind on reviewing it, so everybody should already hopefully know, and we don't have to do spoiler wall for that last bit there. Yeah, I think it's good. That's my closing statement. Is I liked it a lot. It's a very fun show. Unlike you, I did not rewatch the original. I tried. I knew this show was coming out for the longest time, and I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to rewatch the original so I'm prepared, because I'm liking the X-Men. I'm reading the Chris Claremont books. It probably cost me close to $600 to get all 11 volumes. Like, they were expensive, let me tell you. And I had to hunt the internet for them, but I finally got them.
Thank you.
And
because I've been enjoying them.
Yeah, I'm letting you read them, obviously. Yeah, we're all sharing in the love here. But, like, I'm enjoying X-Men more, so I was very excited for this show, but it kind of blindsided me when it came out, because even though I had all the time to prepare, once it was 2 weeks away, I was like, fuck it, I'm not watching the original show, I'm just going in blind. And you don't honestly have to watch the original show to enjoy this one. It's
I would
just
say,
as fun.
They explain
I do
what
recommend
happened,
it.
the big event at the end. And I do recommend the first series, because there's a lot of great voice acting at the very least. Like the writing, I will say, because of the pace, it feels jumpy. But they were trying to slam a lot of different stories into as short amount of time as they could. This time, I feel like they also felt like they had to be wrapped up at the end of an episode too.
Yeah, that's fair.
And in this, the story keeps going from each episode to each episode.
Yeah, they have more liberty.
Yeah.
It definitely feels faster and more more interactive.
The format and mode of the show has grown with the audience, I'll say.
Yeah.
So it is definitely a lot more of an adult version of it, but there are things that will make more sense if you have watched the original. It's not necessary though. It's not.
It's very fair. Yeah, I still loved it though. Even without having watched it, I still give it 4.5 stars. Like, it's one of my favorite things I've watched this year. It was very fun, and they even revamped the theme song. Like, it's still the same theme song, but it's got a bit more of a kick to it now. And it's like both versions are brilliant. But like when it started, beep beep beep. It's great. It's good shit, mate. It's good shit.
I give it a face and a half. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great comeback. There's things that, like, after I knew more about the X-Men that I thought that I didn't like about that original series, but rewatching it, I realized they're taking a cast of like 50 odd characters and trying to condense it into the most popular. And what I really want to see though is them to start a movie series with Charles Xavier and Scott Summers recruiting the new team to save the old team.
That'd be very fascinating.
I think that would be a great movie.
With a new actor as Wolverine.
Oh,
yes.
Hugh
Jackman, I love you.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Wolverine and Deadpool was phenomenal. Go out and watch it, everybody. Sorry, it's Deadpool and Wolverine, not Wolverine and Deadpool. I'm so sorry. Ryan Reynolds is going to come after my ass. Please do. Good God,
please do.
But no, I love Hugh Jackman, but I really do want to see them get a new cast. Like, complete, I want them to go bold, too. I don't want them to do names we know. I want this to be, like, new actors. Do what James Gunn is kind of doing with, people know David Corenswet from television roles, but, like, when they announced David Corenswet as Superman...
Yeah, I don't know.
I at least was like, fucking who?
Yeah.
And I looked him up and I was like, well, that's just Henry Cavill. And I was like, all right. Like,
I mean, Henry Cavill's look is right.
Do that with
I watched, I don't remember his name. The guy who played Superman live action not right before, but like...
Brandon Routh.
Brandon Routh? Yeah. Okay. I wanted to name him Ray.
Was he the guy in the Legend of Tomorrow?
Yeah, I wanted to name him Ray Palmer. But anyways.
Yeah. I don't know how you pronounce his last name. It's like R-O-U.
I think it is rough.
It's like rough, but...
I think it is rough. When I was on that Florida trip with my family, it was on one of the movie channels and my stepdad had it on. And it was toward the end of the movie. And my stepdad was like, how can he keep on lifting it even though it's... full of kryptonite. And I was like, well, that's the thing about Superman. He always finds it, man. He always finds a way.
He goes and goes.
But anyway.
Kevin Spacey's Lex Luthor. Let's make fun of that for a second.
Yeah, but you know what? If you were going to compare him to the Gene Hackman one, it's a good fit, okay?
Oh, yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yeah. That's my big thing, though, is I'm really excited for Nicolas Cage. What's his name?
As Lex Luthor instead of Superman.
Who they cast as No, it's Nicholas. We said his name earlier. Nicholas.
Holt.
His name?
Nicholas Holt's gonna be Lex.
Holt. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
I think so.
That'd be cool. I think that would work.
Yes, he is. He's gonna be Lex and it looks
Don't make him
good.
a kid. Don't make him like a
thing.
kitty guy. Make him a guy in a suit. He's a guy in a suit.
But see, that's like every single time they've done Lex Luthor. So you got... I'm sorry, I'm making this go way too long a bit. But like Gene Hackman, it's good.
Yeah.
I like the Christopher Reeves X-Men. Like, they're fun.
Yeah.
It was comical. It was kind of weird. He didn't really match what I envisioned Lex Luthor as. And then you got Kevin Spacey. kind of matches his character. Like, it's pretty good, but it's just at the same time, it's Kevin Spacey. I can't get past Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, it's
and
hard.
And you look at Jesse
now.
Eisenberg, just trash. What were you thinking, Zack Snyder? Like,
I know.
Don't make Lex Luthor a psychopath. I mean, he is a psychopath, but don't make him an outright psychopath.
He is quiet. He's calculated. I almost said quiet, but he is very arrogant and bold. But he's smart, and he does not make mistakes like just the character they presented for Jesse Eisenberg. Okay, I think we're going to finish our show right there on that Lex Luthor note. Yeah,
our Marvel episode is going to end on a DC conversation. As it should. Holy crap, it's been an hour almost.
I know.
I'm sorry, everybody. I'm so sorry. I said I was tired, and you all settled in like, oh, thank God, this is going to be 20 minutes of bullshit. But I complained about Gambit. Spoilers, he dies. Fuck yes! I'm the
Dang it. Oh, man! It broke my heart. I'm the Faceless Leon. Safe travels, and good night. Green and Faceless on the Couch is a proud production of FictionWorks 19. Are you a fan of the show? Feel free to contact us at greenandfacelessfans@gmail.com or visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/greenandfaceless. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, or rate us on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for listening.